Good morning. So again, we have another exercise with simplifying a rational or an expression with rational exponents in it. And here we have x to the 3/4 power times x squared times x to the negative 1/3 power quantity to the 3/2 power. Now, I could see a couple of ways to go about this, but just following order of operations, I'm going to attack the parentheses first. Yes. I could actually distribute this exponent using this property first. I could see both being useful. In this case, I think I'm just going to get, since I have like bases here, I will use this property where I have like bases and I multiply like bases, I add the exponent. So, equals, so I have x to the 3/4, that's just from the problem, I haven't messed with that. So here I have x to the 2 plus negative 1/3, and then that's to the 3/2. Now let's do a little scratch work to get 2 plus, I'm sorry, I put a plus. Well, I mean, I just forgot to put the minus plus negative 1/3. So let's do a little scratch work here to simplify that, so that we're not doing it up here in the exponents place, which is always small. Now 2 plus negative 1/3 is equivalent to saying 2 minus 1/3. Now remember that's 2 over 1, so we want a common denominator. It's a quick way to do it. We know that the common denominator is 3, so what do you need to multiply? So you want this to be 3, so what do you need to multiply 2 by in order to put a denominator here of 3? Well, if you multiply this denominator by 3, you must multiply 2 by 3, which gives you 6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5 over 3, and that in fact gets you where you want to go. And this little trick right here, or this little shortcut, will actually save you a lot of time in your later mathematics courses, where you do this type of little operation all the time with frequency. Anyway, so we know that this is 2 minus 1/3 is the same thing as 6/3 minus 1/3, which is 5/3. And then we're going to raise that to the 3/2 power. So now we know that when we raise an exponent, a base to an exponent to another exponent, we raise that base to the product of those exponents. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I have x to the 3/4 times x to the 5/3 times, so the 5/3 is times 3/2. Now another little scratch work. 5/3 times 3/2. When we multiply numerators by numerators and denominators by denominators. If we have like terms in our one numerator and the other denominator, we can get rid of those, which leaves a 1 here and a 1 here. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. So our new power is 5/2. So we have x to the 3/4 times x to the 5/2. Now again, we're multiplying like bases, so we add the exponents. This is x to the 3/4 plus 5/2. And now, again, we'll do some more scratch work. So we have 3/4 plus 5/2. What's the least common denominator between 4 and 2? It is 4, because 4 goes into 4 and 2 goes into 4. So I didn't need to multiply that numerator by anything, so I'll write it. Now what did I need to multiply this 2 by to get 4? I needed to multiply, or get 4, I should point to this one, is 2, so I must multiply this numerator by 2. 2 times 5 is 10, so now 3 plus 10 is 13 over 4, and I am done. The most simplified answer with all positive exponents is x to the 13 over 4. We could go to root notation, but they're not asking us to do that here.